It looks like we have another question from the audience. Mrs. Tamayo Lee, will you please step up? President Tamayo Lee wants to ask, what specifically do each of you want to get out of this experience as student delegate?
Hi. So what do I want to get out of this experience? I want to get a stronger sense of community, because as divided as we are as high schools, together we are San Francisco unified. And you know, the culture at Lowell is going to be different from the culture at Mission, which is going to be different from the culture at Washington, which is going to be different from the culture at Lowell Wallenberg. So as student delegate, you know, we have to have a stronger sense of community, because we're not these separate bodies, really, we're working together. And, you know, I'm a native San Franciscan, I'm sure many of you are. We all have this very strong sense of what San Francisco is, and part of San Francisco is our public school system. So if you really want to be part of San Francisco, be part of this, you need to be part of the public school system. So that's my little bit.
What I want to get out of if I got this position student delegate would be to definitely meet more people from other schools and to know what other people, the issues they have at other schools. Even now, just running for it, I've met a lot of people from different schools, like my fellow candidates, and you know, people from the SAC, and it's pretty exciting, and it's interesting to find out that a lot of people have the same problems that we have. Also, you guys should check out the Youth Commission website, because the survey that we took last year, the results are out, and it shows that a lot of schools do have the same issues, and we also have different issues. So I'm just really excited to learn about everyone's problems and learn about what we have in common and things like that.
So, me, personally, what I want to see out of being student delegate is I want to see San Francisco Unified School District really start to make a change for the better. Because, you know, it's not that the district is bad, but, I mean, come on, students want things to be different. Students want things to happen that aren't happening, and these things can be happening. So I just really want to see our district starting to take those steps forward, starting to move forward, so that we're not just in the same position, and so that everything isn't just being run by the Board of Education by themselves. Students really need to have a say in the matter to make this change.
What made me run is I want to know what all the students in San Francisco Unified think. I mean, I know what Mission High School thinks, but I don't know what all the schools think, and that's really important. And I've always had questions, why is this? Why do we have to do this? Well, for me, running as student delegate, now I have an opportunity to find out and answer my own questions.
Just received another question from the audience, and this is a difficult one that you guys are going to have to answer strongly. So, as we know, the JROTC program district-wide is on schedule to be disbanded, but we have a lot of supporters on the school board and also in the district that don't want that to happen. How do you guys feel about this, and what are you going to do as student delegate?
I personally think JROTC is a great program, and according to the votes that happened in November, I think, Prop B, I think the students of San Francisco voted to keep it. So, I mean, why should we not listen to the students? Second, the citizens, the parents, voted to keep JROTC. Why should we not listen to them? There has to be a reason why they voted yes. And that reason is that it's a great program and it works, and there's many people, many students around San Francisco that love this program. And if you guys don't like it, I mean, there's other programs that I want to create that everyone has a chance to like throughout their high school career.
So, it is a conflict that so many students like JROTC, but that the district is planning to take it down. Now, the thing is, right now, as most of you probably know, we're in some really tough economic times, and that's a problem. But if the district has already shaped their budget around not having JROTC, you know, it becomes a really difficult, tricky issue. So what I would need to do is just see what kind of money is there. If we have money to get the program started up, and that's what students want, then that's what I'll work for. Thank you.
Personally, I support the JROTC, but it's really up to the students. We did have the vote on Prop V earlier, and people did vote yes for it, but it's not, if you're 18 and you're a high school student, you voted for it, but, most of the students didn't really get a say whether or not they want it. It seems like most students want it, but it would really depend on what you guys want. If you guys did want it, I think it's feasible for us to be able to keep it because I looked it up and it seems like it's funded by federal money. I mean, there might be some hidden costs, but there shouldn't be any extra money from that the district has to pay. If people wanted to keep it, I would have everyone do a survey so that people could vote on it, and everyone could vote on it and say if they wanted it or not. And if they didn't want it, then we could create more after-school activities for students to do in place of that.
So I kind of wanted to start off by saying that I agree 100% with everything that Mike was saying. JROTC is an excellent program. It teaches students leadership skills and how they should handle themselves and helps build a sense of community. Am I in JROTC? No, but I can see the impact that it has on my community. And as much as I love my community, I love to see it thrive. So, RO is only helping people out, and the fact that they want to shut it down is understandable maybe, if we don't have the money for it, but under all respect, we should be trying to keep this just as much as we're trying to keep any art program, as much as we're trying to be able to keep any sports program. I mean, RO is just as important as any of those to a school's environment. So that's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Mr. Patel would like to make a response to a comment that was made, and so he's going to have a short response to that, and then the other person is going to respond. So, Mr. Patel.
So I would like to respond to Mr. Harris's comment about the money issue that JROTC, the Unified School District, spends on JROTC. And I just wanted to point out that most of the money spent in JROTC doesn't come from the city, it comes from the country, it comes from the Army. I mean, there's no reason why, if students want it, we shouldn't be letting us down because, oh wow, the city's putting like 20% or 40% of their money, 40% of the cost for JROTC into JROTC when kids really want it. And the city's wasting so much money on other stuff.
Okay, so just to be clear, the response was that the money comes from higher. It's beyond the district, and that if students want it, they should get it. I agree with the latter, definitely. I do think that if students want it, they should get it. But the problem is this economic crisis is national. It's not just in San Francisco Unified School District. So even if the government has been funding JROTC, and now San Francisco is planning on not having it, if students want it back, for all we know, that money might be going towards something else by now. It might even be part of the stimulus package. So it's a national issue. I still have to see if the money is there.
Answers about this issue and nothing else. So, news to me, money comes from the Army, not really. So, that's another thing, it's coming from the Army, and we live in a very, very liberal city. I don't know if you guys have noticed. So, in my opinion, I think what the Army does is good. I have profound respect for the armed forces of our country. However, we may not agree with it. They make a lot of the times excellent individuals, and what the Army strives to do is put leadership qualities into kids. So they'll be taking somebody that perhaps may be a little rough around the edges and turning them into an excellent individuals. So if in any way RO can kind of mimic this, do anything like that, it shouldn't be shut down, because really it's preparing kids for how they should be behaving in the future. So we should keep it around.
So, as the other candidate said, RO is funded by the federal government. So, the school district itself does not have to pay for it, and students seem to want to keep it, and it is a valuable program. It offers students an after-school activity that keeps them occupied, and it also instills discipline and educates students on the subject they're interested in. So, I think that if the students want it, then there's no reason for us not to keep it.